two phone calls that were the kind of phone calls you get and you have to take pause because of the emotion you feel when you receive the news. And Tyson, your phone call regarding your accident was the first of those. As mentioned, we had watched these two meet, and we had watched these develop a love relationship with each other that was so tremendous that we had tremendous hopes already. And we could see the love there and the commitment there and what God was doing. And on June 10 of 2010, Tyson and his father Ed had a near fatal boating accident. Some of you know that, some of you may not. And not too long after that, we did receive that first phone call. And Jenna had, as I knew she would, planned to do missions with me that summer, do youth camps with me that summer. And everything that was planned, everything that was in the future went on hold. Everything was derailed because we did not know if Tyson was going to live. And Tyson, you can look at me now. I received that phone call, and I remember going to the hospital. And I remember because I was clergy, they let me go into your room. And brother, I faltered. And I'm going to ask you your forgiveness for that. Because what I saw, it diminished my hopes. And I wasn't even as concerned for you because I knew where your eternal security lay. I had got to know you well enough to know that if you left this world, you'd be in the arms of Christ. But I feared for her until I talked to her. And the same smile was on your face, and the same light was in your eyes, and the same hope was in your heart that you had always had, despite what was laying in that hospital bed. And in the months to come, Jenna would endure news from doctors, advice from friends and family, all of us well-meaning, that he may not live. And if he does live, he will not have his full physical capacity. He will not have his full mental capacity. And she never faltered. And she never wavered. And kind of like Jimmy said to me yesterday, Jenna taught us something about love that we should have been teaching her. Something her youth pastor should have taught her, something her parents should have taught her, something those of us who claim to know Christ and walk in Him should have taught her, but Jenna, you taught it to us. And I shared this with Tyson just a little while ago, and I'll read the full passage before we do the rings, but when I read 1 Corinthians 13, verse 7, I think of you guys. Because you know what it says that love does? Love bears all things. It believes all things. It hopes all things. It endures all things. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. God said, a man shall leave his father and his mother, be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. And Jesus Christ said in Matthew, what God has joined together, let man not separate. And I asked Jenna a little while ago, when did you know that you would marry this guy? And she said there was no specific aha moment, but before the accident, I knew this was a man I would marry. And she never stopped knowing that. She never stopped believing that. She never stopped trusting that this was the man God had brought into her life. When all of us thought it wasn't going to happen, when all of us thought that things were too grim, Jenna knew. Someday, I'll stand before friends and family in Tulip Grove Baptist Church, and I'll marry Tyson Moore. And here we stand, because of the great, tremendous, unfailing love of one, who will now become two. Tyson has said to me many times since, he went home in January of 2011, still had some recuperating to do, and is still doing some of that still. So pray for these guys as he continues to recover and grow strong, mentally, physically, as he is doing. He's every bit the drink of water gentleman that I have always known. But continue to pray for them and their strength as they start out life together. And I don't even know where I was going with all that. But just to say that the day has come and the future has come that God intended that you always knew about. So thank you, Jenna. Thank you for modeling unfailing 1 Corinthians 13, verse 7 kind of love for us.